scene like this doesn't come around often. Hi, my name's Ricardo, and I've been a Sonic the Hedgehog fan for basically my entire life. I'm not your ordinary Sonic fan. I didn't play a few games and watch a few shows as a kid. I live, eat, and breathe this franchise. More importantly though than a franchise are the characters that make it. Sonic and his friends aren't just the characters that make up an IP. To me, they are more. To me, they're family. Growing up an only child with a single mother for most of my life, these characters were there for me in moments nobody else was. And how did I get so attached to these characters? It was stuff like this.
Sonic! Please don't leave! You're the best friend I ever had!
Hey guys, it's me, SpeedSuperSonic Speed 10, making my first video on YouTube.
You have a good day, okay? Okay. Be a good boy.
That's how I got here. That's why I'm still here. And that's why I care so much. For years, I followed these characters in the stories of video games and TV shows. Sonic being there for everybody, no matter what. Being the embodiment of optimism and hope. Shadow the Hedgehog discovering who he really is. A constant journey of self-discovery through deep trauma. While on the surface, a franchise that might appear very silly in nature, had deep underlying emotional themes that you could get invested in. Well, maybe sometimes the quality wasn't always up to standard with these products. The heart was always there. But at a certain point, the heart left. A few missteps kinda took Sega off of their path with their beloved franchise. The little blue speed demon that got them to where they are today. All of a sudden, things got sanitized, characters became caricatures, and at one point, it seemed like they were ready to throw it all away. Sonic, much like individual fans of the character, has been mistreated, bloodied, bruised, and much like everyday people, Sonic has been able to get up every single time. The frequently used tagline of unstoppable when it comes to Sonic is not a term that is attributed to Sonic's speed or powers. It's a little more meta. No matter how many times life or Sega unintentionally has tried to beat Sonic down, he's still here. And that's how we got here. Two hedgehogs sitting on the moon. But getting to the scene was not an easy task. I'm not going to bore you guys with the overextensive history, as I'm sure you guys know how the story goes. First Sonic movie trailer releases in 2019 to horrible reception after the atrocious design that is revealed. Director and longtime Sonic fan Jeff Fowler decides on his own volition to delay the movie and redesign the character. The movie releases in 2020 to massive success, and a massive renaissance is born for the Sonic franchise. We've received multiple games since then that have been received very well commercially and financially, multiple different TV shows. You can't walk into a store anymore without seeing this face, and now Sonic is back at the mountaintop, considered one of the top pop culture IPs in the world. But how did a simple movie change this? How did it give us this? It remembered who Sonic was. He's not a face to a brand. He's a character. He's someone who people have emotionally resonated with on a deeper level than most other characters in pop culture media. It returned his soul, his heart, his youthfulness, and his optimism and hope that he provides to everyone. That's what people love about Sonic. It's not just the colorful character design, it's not just the fact that he runs super fast and has cool shoes. He means something, and Jeff Fowler and crew knew that. These characters mean something more to Jeff Fowler than most people. He got his start animating projects for Sonic the Hedgehog games such as Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. Being able to return 20 years later to tell the story of this character that means something so much to him, he knew it was a task that he had to handle with grace. And when Sonic Movie 3 released in December 2024, I think he accomplished this goal in a way that some fans, if not himself, thought was possible. That's it, man. That's Shadow the Hedgehog, and that's a level of heart you don't really see today in a lot of modern Hollywood blockbusters. With a film that on the surface that might look like a big tentpole IP that's made to sell toys and continue a cinematic universe, it continues time and time again to show the heart that has been there since the beginning. Movies that continue to set out on their goal of making you love these characters, resonate with them on a level you never have before. While I will always love the source material and be thankful for it for what it gave us with these characters, it didn't do it like this. Now, it might be a bit unfair to compare a movie that was made in 2024 with a $120 million budget to a video game from 2001 released on a defunct console, but it doesn't change the fact that this is Sonic perfection. It got a character that meant so much to people, that everyone was looking forward to seeing, that means so much to me as a person, so right on a level I didn't think was possible. Shadow, a character that is viewed as a monster, treated as a monster, who comes across a young girl who sees him differently, who loves him, who views him as a person. And once when that's taken away by the hands of the people who treat him as lesser, how that can turn a good person cruel, seeking out revenge, acting out in anger, and how that's mirrored with Sonic. In 2020, they nailed everything that Sonic is supposed to be and more. It is so good, it's kind of shifted how Sonic is portrayed in media nowadays. Nailing that hope, nailing that optimism, nailing that lovability, and nailing no matter how many times life might try to beat you down, you always get back up. It just might take a little help. Whether that's a two-tailed fox and a red echidna or a small-town cop, we all need people. What happens if someone who doesn't know that nearly takes those people away? Tom, the person who was there for Sonic when no one else was, the closest thing that Sonic's ever had to a father, might not be with him anymore. And we see Sonic in a way we've never seen the character before. Purely guided by rage, nearly destroying the relationships of those who he's closest with, on the verge of becoming the mirror of what he's not, and committing the ultimate sin, which is how we get here.
What are you waiting for? Do it! I'm right here!
You didn't let your pain change who you are. In here.
This nearly broke Sonic, on the verge of an action that will change who this character is for the rest of his life. In this moment of anger, with this gesture, it reminds Sonic who he is. That anger flees like a shadow.
This is not who I am.
Shadow, that mirror, doesn't understand why Sonic didn't kill him, but he doesn't understand that
There are no winners with revenge.
Shadow's now in the most vulnerable state he's ever been in, and he needs guidance. The two sit there, lost, broken even. Shadow's realizing that this pain will never go away, no matter what he does. Nothing will bring Maria back. But Sonic has suffered loss too. But more powerful than the pain that he suffered was the love that he felt for her. And as Sonic and Shadow sit, staring at the rising sun, the most powerful words of the movie are I think a lot of people walking into this movie were hoping for a solid adaptation of the versions of these characters that people have come to love. But what I don't think a lot of people were expecting was to be walking out of the movie knowing that what they just saw was the best piece of Sonic media that's ever been created. Of course, that is subjective. I'm sure that there are hundreds of fans who think that one of the prior films is better, or that there's a game or a show that they enjoy more. But for me personally, this is undeniable. The understanding of these characters, getting them so completely right. But more than just that, adding nuance, adding depth, adding heart, adding pain, taking a character like Sonic and pushing him to the point where he nearly kills a man. I never thought I would see. In fact, if you wrote that on paper, it sounds like a terrible idea. But the execution, the way in which Jeff Fowler handles Sonic and Shadow, bringing these two mirrors of each other together in their most vulnerable moment and giving them a shoulder to lean on. This is Sonic. This is storytelling. This is the best scene in Sonic history.
Thank you and peace out. It's gonna be my motto.
I've been doing YouTube for a long time. I've been a Sonic fan for a long time, and I honestly have wondered many times why I'm still here. I'm now 22. I'm no longer 12. Sonic's been there for me at a lot of my darkest moments. He's been a constant in my life. It's not something I can simply let go of at this point. So with this character that I love more than a lot of people in my life, I've always wanted to see him treated right. So when something like this comes around, it reminds me why I'm still here. Sonic is more than just Sonic to me. Sonic is a piece of me that I will carry around with me for the rest of my life. So I want to thank Jeff Fowler. I want to thank this movie. I want to thank Sonic the Hedgehog himself. And I want to thank my mother for always being the light that shines, even when the star is gone.